Okay, thank you.
That's where the door's going to be. She comes up here, opens the door, and when she walks in, what's the thing she sees? Tim's ass and crack. Yes, that. All right, I reckon saying something important then. So if you were here, what would it look like?
So if you have a workshop of some sort, then stuff will build up in one area where you're working, and then you'll start moving to another area, and you'll see those sort of previous areas get a bit sort of clogged and blocked off because all of the stuff that happened there.
And where would you put the desk? Desk there, paintings at the side.
You could always put something behind it if you wanted to.
Stuff, yeah.
Things stored here as well, so it's also like an attic with things stored.
Yeah.
But so just some interesting old things, I suppose. And could decide what sort of art he does. Is it photography? Does he do painting? Does he do both? Does he do a bit of everything?
And there's either he keeps a film or Super 8 film. He has old films of the family.
Cozy sort of a space. Like if he did have a bunch of stuff stored down that end, and so you can kind of see the window maybe, but there's like some furniture and boxes and whatever, I don't know. And he could just have a single bed, just like, so it's got the roof over his bed.
Yeah.
And he's just kind of cramped in there. It just
That's
says something about him.
That's right. All the other spaces, yeah.
All of the other spaces is artistic things, and it's just spread around. But he's just got his bed, little bed, sort of under like the slanted roof.
Yeah, desk right near it, so you can get up and just go straight to it. And then over here, boxes, paintings. We'll have to have the smoke machines. We've got 2 smoke machines here.
Kind of, if people come in, it doesn't spend a lot of time there. That's what drew him towards it.
Well, the researchers, the Indigenous people have a huge loss, don't they? And something taken away. And he's had his...
But yeah, you need to find a way to actually, something specifically that will fit organically with this story.
We're talking about the character at the beginning where she goes down the escalator and goes through Wynyard Station, and we're seeing all the different people she may connect with. But she sees an Indigenous person sitting there, well-dressed man, just gazing, and she connects with him the same way maybe the father connects with a man or woman here, and how she feels about the world and how that may connect to her world and what's happened to the first people here. She sees the Indigenous man, she identifies with him the same way she identifies as somebody like a special needs person or somebody who doesn't feel they fit into the world, and through her dark night she's going through, she sees these characters in the same way her father might have seen the characters. And of course here it's quite evident, and where, somebody's had something taken away, like he had, where he left Poland in his teenage years, but you think he might have jumped a merchant ship now, maybe, or whatever. And then...
Henry has assigned her, we're not quite sure how this works, but I guess Henry's potentially assigned Connie's sort of power of attorney because he realises his mental faculties are going to disappear. He knows that he's got dementia or something.
Yep.
And so at some point that comes into play, and Connie then gets documents like a will or whatever that mention Grace, and she'd never even known about Grace potentially.
Okay. Yeah.
And so then once she finds out about that,
she realises that she didn't...
Connie realises that that Grace was an estranged daughter, and that there's some sort of conflict there, and she's treading lightly, trying to figure out what's happening. And by researching it to find Grace, maybe when she calls Grace, Grace is like, as soon as she hears about Henry, she sort of goes off about him or something, or I don't know. But she realises that, it's not something, she can't just sort of say, come and meet your dad.
No.
So she's trying to find the right time, I suppose, maybe.
Okay. Right. Yeah, that's one I hadn't thought of, a possibility. Because the other one that I thought of was that Henry has said to her that, had said to Connie that he doesn't want her, Grace, to know, because that would be a pretty strong, compelling, so then she'd be torn, so she, like it's a pretty strong reason for her not to tell Grace about it until a crisis point occurs, and she just has to tell her, you know.
And it could be, I mean, Henry's still there, so even though he's sort of fading, she could talk to him and actually ask him and
Yeah.
you know, get some moment of clarity from him. And
Yeah.
he even in his sort of confused state, he's adamant, you know, no, you know, don't, she can't know me, whatever. And he probably feels embarrassed about, you know, having dementia and everything, and doesn't want her to see him like that.
Yeah, or it could be that he thinks that if Grace knows is alive, then she wouldn't have come, because she hasn't wanted anything to do with him until now. So if she knows he's alive, then she won't come and actually inherit the house. He wants her to have the house, but he doesn't want that to jeopardize.
Well, and he figures he's going to be gone soon enough anyway, I suppose.
Yeah.
So she would inherit the house eventually, but
Yeah.
it could be a mix of all of those things. And
Yeah,
so Connie's just trying to be careful about it.
yeah. She's kind of in a difficult situation in the middle of all that. Yeah. Cool.
So where do you see his little single bed? And his desk?
Thinking here, but maybe that's just because you pointed there originally, Jake. Could be either there, here,
Yep.
or here, and
What do you see when you look into
I'm
the...
feeling like he may have gravitated towards having a fairly uncluttered spot where he's actually sleeping, because that goes with the coziness of being under the low sloping roof, of just it being a bit kind of cavish and isolated, and but then the rest of his space being more chaotic and cluttered.
maybe we're down... Where would you say? Be more chaotic, cluttered. This end or that end? Better space with the high ceilings right there.
I guess if you're going to be creative, you'd have a potentially next to a window where you can look out and everything. It's just then we've got all the light for the practicality of shooting. We've got all of this light coming through, and which we're going to have anywhere in here, but it's just more pronounced right in front of the window.
Single bed in there, little side table, and a little light, old light. We've got quite a few of those here.
Just the reveal as she comes through, like I guess this space, and sees all of the art, and it's like, oh shit.
Yeah.
This is like, you know, so it's like a soft reveal then, and then she comes through for the second reveal
Yeah.
to see everything else.
Yeah, because that's
Scott at the moment. Scott is down here. He just happens to be talking to an old lady, catches his attention. She just talks on and on. And as she's trying to listen to her, he suddenly notices what's her name? Grace. Trying to her backside stuck over the balcony, and kind of says, "Oh, sorry. Do you mind if I just let you here for a second? Grace, you need some help?"
Yeah.
What is it? What is it?
Looks up and then he's like, you know, thinks about it for a bit before. You need some help, you know. And then she's no, and I'm fine. And then he sees the ladder and he just looks around and, you know, I better. And then he's kind of starts climbing the ladder, and he's like, don't look down, and she's like, don't look up, like Jacob said. And then he's like, closes his eyes, keeps going.
So is he down here now? Is he kind of got himself up there? Because it's got to be funny, because if we do that where she falls down and she lasts his ass in on his face,
Right.
is their first meeting.
Yeah.
I like that idea.
I think that's asking for a lot, though, in terms of stunts and people clinging onto the roof and everything for them to be falling
I don't
down.
think so. I think if you've got a bunch of... So
we're looking at options for Tim putting the camera right in my face. Looking for options of Grace is climbing up potentially to the attic on a ladder outside, and then Scott, as we're calling him, sees her and offers some help, and she says, no, I don't need any help. but obviously she does because she gets snagged on something. And Scott starts climbing up, but he's afraid of heights, and he's looking up and he's telling himself, don't look down, don't look down. But she's realizes she's wearing a skirt and says, no, don't look up. And so then he's confused and he's trying to climb up but not look down and not look up. And then he freezes because he's getting too high and he can't keep climbing. And then she's sort of saying, what are you doing? And there's Bob down there. But what are you doing? And he admits that he's afraid of heights. And then she has to try and climb down to unsnag herself, and then it gets quite intimate and uncomfortable with the two of them, you know.
And then as she's climbing down to help him, she slips and falls on top of him. So then, but if he's up halfway up the ladder, the one up, she falls on top of him, but he kind of catches her, but and then there's awkward moment because
Okay. All right. What have we been doing today?
apart from digging holes for the train carriage, we've been up in the attic trying to work out some ideas for Henry and his little living quarters, and a ladder scene as well. So which part of the house we can use for a kind of semi-comical, chemistry laden scene between two of the characters. And now we're just chatting to Ken.
Ken, so Ken, we've just met. You've just come on. Now, give us a little bit of your story with cinema. That is.
Well, a little bit. Howdy, campers. I'm Ken Hammond, and look, I only touched base with the guy behind the camera. I think it was 2 days ago or something, and that's the one. Yeah. And look, it seems like an interesting project. I've been involved in films and media and stuff for maybe more years than I care to remember. But who knows? I might actually get involved in this, and I might be seeing some of you at a later stage. Thanks for chatting, and goodbye for now.
And that's from Ken. And that's enough from today in Narrandera, the motherland. Jacob, how's the progress going?
Slowly.
But surely wins the race. We're trying to work out this complicated machine here. Slowly we're getting there.